dry. Do you know I'm looking? And I can't help but smile. Do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on, I put my feet up, and we just sing along, and I can't help but feeling.
Hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if it's your first time here. My name is Rebecca. I'm a mama of 3. I have a 3.5-year-old daughter, Paulina, and then I also have twins, a little boy and a little girl. And when filming this video, they turned 1 year old. Yeah, which is crazy that the year has flown by so fast and so quickly. It's actually already 13 months now when you're seeing that video. But yeah, it was a busy week, the week of the birthday, and then it was also a busy weekend because we had a party to attend at Saturday afternoon, evening. So I was not home for several hours to prep for the birthday, so it was kind of stressful. But this is the day before the birthday, Saturday, I would say afternoon, or maybe it was not afternoon, maybe it was around lunchtime. Doesn't matter, but it was the day before, and I was just starting to bake a sheet pan cake, which I will use for our little book cake that I tried to make, because it was the Fairytale Once Upon a Twin Time theme. So yeah, that's where I started. And then I went on and prepped the butter pudding cream. I will put the recipes down in the description box if you're interested, but it's a really good recipe for like yeah, it's not completely buttercream, it's a little bit lighter because of the pudding in there, so I can definitely recommend, and it's an easy one.
This moment, can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment, can we stay here forever?
For my other castle cake, I ended up buying pre-made like cake layers, and just made the cream on my own because I was just not able to get all of those baked, yeah, with all of the busy week we had, but that's fine. And then for the next layer, I just used this little, what was it called, cake ring, whatever, to cut out smaller pieces. And then for the third layer, I also did like the third level, I don't know if you can call it that way. I did it even a little bit smaller. I did vanilla chocolate, but I did use the same vanilla cream for all of them.
What's it like to be the one that he turns to when he's out of answers?
And then for my castle, I wanted little towers, so I just used a little cup and cut out some little circles, and tried to stack them on each other with the cream. It was a little bit of a nightmare, but it ended up going well. I will talk about them later on, because it was definitely a labor of love, and I learned some things the hard way, but I will tell you about those things. Then, as you can see, it was nighttime. We were back from the birthday and filming that, and I just used some waffle cones. I used some bigger ones, and then some that we just cut up some pieces to make them a little smaller, and then just melted some white chocolate. I colored the white chocolate in this turquoise greenish color, and we dipped them in, set them aside, put them in the fridge until the next day.
It's midnight, oh, I'm thinking about him. I have got him on my mind, but he doesn't know my name, and I'm running out of time.
So here we're starting on the book cake, and I just cut it in half, measured it, cut it in half, and then tried to round the edges a little bit. Used some dark chocolate ganache. I can link the recipe down in the description box. Put it together and put it in the fridge. Here's the clip that was actually earlier that day, but I wanted to keep the cake part together and then the decor part. I was just folding together some decor stuff, or like the first things were the little gifts for all the children that came. I will show you later how they ended up looking. And then I got these little boxes with the one that you can put, like the letters one you can put on them, and I ended up filling them with a lot of balloons. Not a lot of, a few balloons actually. I decided against the balloon garland, the balloon art, whatever. I actually love them, but I think it takes a lot of time first, and then also it looks great, but you use a ton of balloons, a ton of plastic. It's a lot of waste, and I try to not do that every single time. So this time I just used, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 balloons in those little boxes, as you can see. And then I blew up a few so that the children just were able to play with a few balloons. But that was it. Basically with balloons this time around. I will do a balloon art once again. Definitely, I love them, but not every single time.
I know it's nothing new, but it's so good to see you. We do this every day, and I'm still so amazed by you. So hold me tight through the night.
Okay, we're hopping over to nighttime decor part. As I said, I wanted to keep the cake part together and the decor part together. So we were just putting up those little mushrooms, which were adorable, and they're reusable, so that's a win as well. And then we were also putting up our backdrop. I decided for a backdrop instead of a balloon arch, oh my goodness, scarlet arch, whatever, this time around, because you can also reuse it. I can just give it to somebody, whatever, maybe use it sometime again, we will see. Yeah, and then I was also putting together a little goodie, it were not goodie bags, it were goodie castles. So I just got some little fairy tale books for each of them, and then also got little oat bites with like really clean ingredients and suitable for children 1 year and older, because we had little children and I didn't want to give them any candy. And also we had 2 babies coming who just turned 1 like a month before that, so I definitely didn't want any candy. I just wanted a little snack, more like. Yeah, and here's Patrick putting up the backdrop.
So lucky, still can't believe you love me. Falling into your arms, dancing up in the stars. Oh, where I'd rather be.
Here in 1 second, this little mirror that I was just putting up, and I actually planned to write like once upon a twin time or something on the mirror, just to have it like this fairy tale mirror, but I ended up not finding a pen that was going well on the mirror, and I just had no time and forgot about it the next day. So it was just a mirror standing around. It still suited the theme, but if you have time and find a pen that can write on a mirror, just a little recommendation, it suits well with the theme. I also got a few of those foil balloons, because I also like that they are reusable. We just use a straw afterwards. take the air out and you can blow them up again. So I just got those little crones and the little deer.
I pull into your driveway, it's a Saturday night. You look like $1,000,000 wearing that dress I like. You're smiling, but there's something missing in your eyes.
We are back with the cooled book cake. I was just cutting out the middle part a little bit so that it would look like a book later on. I used more ganache to smooth it all out. And yeah, then I will be back with my book cake later. Now I started to use some chocolate ganache for my little towers for the castle, and it was going okayish, I would say. I ended up popping those little castles into the freezer before I used the ganache on them, and that was way better. But still, it was messy and not working too well. Here I used the white chocolate ganache, and it was just so soft. It was going everywhere. I don't know why this was. I have no idea why the dark chocolate ganache went really well and the white chocolate didn't so well, but I still used it on my layers of cake. It was tasty, but I don't know why it was this consistency. I have no idea. If you have any tips for next time, let me know, or for others, but
Dance your problems away. I'm all about the good vibes. I know you're all about the good vibes.
here you will get a little overview of the decor the next morning. I love this backdrop. It was just so pretty, and it actually was able to cover a lot of the stuff behind it. And this garland, oh my goodness, we got 2 garlands because first I wanted one with all of the monthly photos that we took, with like the little cards where it said how many months they are old and that they can stand up and things like that. And how cute is it? And then I also got another one just with different photos. Yeah, here the high chairs, the crones are obviously just there for now. And here are the other photos. Like how they got so big so quickly. Isn't that the cutest thing ever? We actually still have the garland up because I cannot just get it down, and it is so cute whenever you step into it. It is just adorable.
Good vibes. I know you're all about the good vibes. We are all about the good vibes. We are all about the good times.
I also made a little cake without any sugar, and I had some leftover dough, so I made a tiny cake for their morning breakfast. We had people come over in the afternoon for the party, where we had the bigger cake of this no sugar cake for especially like the littlest ones. It was just sweetened with banana and was like a mascarpone cream also with banana, and like all of the kids loved it, actually. It was a huge win. I can also maybe put the recipe in the description box. Yeah, and they just had their tiny little cake for breakfast. Yeah, that's what Henry, Mariella, and Paulina had for breakfast when we just sang to them in the morning, just the 5 of us. It was really cute. Then I did another layer of this white chocolate ganache, which was a little bit a better consistency now, but still pretty runny compared to the chocolate one. I was doing more of those little towers. I was doing towers for hours and hours and hours, but yeah, that's how it is. My cake definitely didn't turn out perfect, but still it was an effort, and you could see the homemade effort. And I would say especially the kids were impressed and liked it, so it's okay. And he was starting on fondant. I was not doing things with fondant for a while. I'm not a huge fan of fondant. Now I have a ton of leftovers, but we will see. Maybe Paulina wants a cake for her birthday with fondant. We will see. Oh, and I tried so hard to get like a old look with this fondant that I wanted for my book cake, and it took me several times. I was just not able to get the right color. I don't know why, but I ended up with this little pinkish color and just went with it because I was not able to get it any better. So I sprayed my book cake with a little bit of oil, and then I, just put my fondant on top. Fondant, whatever. And yeah, it turned out actually pretty good. It was really easy. So actually, if I would do it again, I would just do a really big book cake and not the castle. It was just so much work, actually. But try it out. Maybe you're just way more talented than I am, but the book cake was so easy compared to the other one. Yeah, as you can see, it went so fast. I got those little pens that are edible and you can write on fondant. It's not really easy to write on it, but you can write on it. It just takes some time. But it was just so easy, honestly. Like compared to the other one, super duper easy.
You could see yourself just sitting there on my chair. I'm staring at you, you don't even notice. Should've told you straight away, you don't have to be afraid anymore. I know you haven't noticed.
I tried out a few different techniques with the little towers and the fondant, and I actually ended up doing it like I would do a big cake, putting a big round piece on top and trying to smooth it out on the sides, and that's what worked the best. And here I'm trying to put the like a little wall on top of the castle with some edible glue. I think that gave it a pretty nice touch, actually. Made it look more like a castle, in my opinion.
But still you're here, and that's what I adore. Should've told you straight away everything I have to say.
I wanted to transform those muffins into cupcakes, but I had no time in the end. And actually, the majority of the guests said it was good, and I did not, because the cakes were already so massive and creamy and just really filling. So the majority of the people said it was good. That they were just muffins and not had an additional cream. Stacking them on each other was actually way easier than anticipated, so that was a good thing. It was a little bit maybe like the Tower of Pisa, but that's fine. The other problem was that I had the weather going against me. It was pretty hot on this day, so everything was melting and going everywhere. I actually ended up putting the little waffle cones on top, and then later taking them down again and putting them on top right before I served this cake, because they were just going everywhere with the melted chocolate and I was not able to get them into the fridge like that. So I just took them off and added them later. Or like, I think I took all of the little towers away and just put them in the fridge. I'm not 100% sure right now. And I also just added a few little edible flowers, which also gave it a little bit of a nicer touch. Trying to write Once Upon a Twin Time, Mariella and Henry turned 1 on my book cake. Yeah. Okay, and here is how it all came together in the end. 2 cakes were brought over by family and friends, and I actually later on ended up not putting back the towers right on top of the castle cake because I thought it looked better without them on top, and I was just putting on the little 1 sign as a little flag or something. Yeah, and then we were just singing to our birthday babies and had a really nice party. I also got some little wooden mirrors with paint and stickers, and the older kids were able to do that later in the garden. We had a little children's table and they were able to sit there and paint their little wooden mirrors. Suited the theme well as well. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's party prep. It was a labor of love. I love party preps, but they're always a little bit stressful. Thank you so much for watching. I would love to see you in my next video. And if you're not already subscribed, make sure to hit that red subscribe button.